quite another. It's been only 24 hours since this dangerously unpredictable warlord has seized 63 Allied nation relief workers from a village north of here with high-tech weaponry which some intelligence experts fear is equal to anything in the industrialized world.
Victory!
From the producer of The Crow, directed by the screenwriter of 48 Hours and Die Hard, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Raul Julia. Joy Luck Club's Ming-Na Wen. Kylie Minogue. Last of the Mohicans, West Studi. In an explosive, realistic world of fantastic heroes and villains. Behind the scenes, the making of Street Fighter. Street Fighter. Writer-director Steven D'Souza. The creative mind behind such action hits as 48 Hours and Die Hard is taking the action-adventure genre beyond anything he's ever done before.
The first thing I'm bringing this movie is my, love of these kind of films, of action-adventure, bigger-than-life films. And that's primarily what this movie's going to be. Now, are we going to get the kind of infinite look, like with screens receding and receding into there, or no? Primarily, my main model were the Bond movies, where you'd have a Dr. No or a Goldfinger type of character. Only in this case, instead of a single person, Bond, stopping him, we have a group of people led by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
It's really a cinematic genius in his own way, and had an approach to make it into a movie, which all of a sudden got me excited about the potential of what this could be as a entertaining and original kind of movie, which would have some of the tone of the original James Bond movies, and yet be something new. And that's what excites me about making movies in any way, whether it's Conan or Badlands or The Crow. I think it's stretching the medium and finding new ways to make film work.
In D'Souza's script, Van Damme plays Guile, a special forces colonel on a mission to rescue AM personnel held hostage by the power-mad dictator of a Southeast Asian country.
Guile, that's me, Guile. I'm like a very strong, macho guy, but deep inside, in the movie we'll see, I'm very sensitive and vulnerable. I care for my people.
You hostages, if you can hear me, we're coming. We're coming.
But we also surrounded Jean-Claude with a cast which I think will also elevate and give the film a platform which is much broader than the work he's done to date.
I knew you wouldn't understand.
I understand better than you know. This war is not about your personal vendetta.
We wanted to make this movie play as real as possible, and to add the reality, we got just a tremendous cast. It's the best cast I've ever had. We have Raul Julia, who is just unbelievable.
Your turn now.
The villain is very Shakespearean, very much like Richard III.
Why do they still call me a warlord? And mad? All I want to do is to create the perfect genetic soldier.
Bison, that's the character I play. Bison is the king of the bad guys, and I gotta make them as mean as they come. That's drama.
Think about this.
You have 3 days. If my $20 billion are not delivered by then, the hostages will die, and the world will hold you responsible.
Bison, he's fantastic. Raul Julia is like, he's so noble, even when he, as a bad guy, is so noble and so evil with a touch of being classy.
We have Ming Na Wen, who did a wonderful job in the Joy Luck Club, who plays Chun-Li, a journalist who's a key component, a mystery woman with a secret agenda.
All you need to know is that the weapons and munitions Bison and Sagat deal in are gonna blow them straight to hell.
My job is to bring her to life through the physical training that we've had, so I can build up my muscle, through the kickboxing lessons that I've had. And then just really understand her emotionally, you know, like I do with any other character. What is driving this woman to go after what she wants?
I don't want a story about Bison. I want his head.
We have Kylie Minogue, who is a big singing star around the world.
Before I started, I was joking with my girlfriends, doing flying karate kicks in the kitchen, thinking, I'm doing an action movie, I can't believe it. And it's exactly what we're doing. We're training every night, we're doing weights one night, we're doing martial arts the next night. Cammie's possibly everything I'm not. She's very on the ball. She's a master of surveillance. She more or less gives Guile the information he needs to make his decisions, to say attack, don't attack, we're doing this or that. And I must say she's quite a fox.
Before the Civil War, Sagat was the absolute crime lord here. Now he supplies Bison with all his guns and weapons.
We also have Wes Studi, who plays one of the rival warlords, who has he was a rival with Raul Julia for control of our fictional country.
Bon voyage, Sagat. We enjoyed the sea air.
This isn't over, Guile. I own this city.
It'd be great afterwards, after we make the film, to have people come up and tell me that they just love to hate me or something like that.
We have some newcomers. I think they're probably new to the movie audience, but they've done some wonderful work in miniseries and television, who are playing Ken and Ryu.
I like the fact that this film is so intense, and there's so many intense characters, and it's an adventure film with intensity. And there's these two guys in the film, Ken and Ryu.
The next fight! The challenger!
Him! Who are able to make light of their situation, which is just about every 5 minutes in a death situation.
Right.
Sorry I talked you into all this.
I'm sorry I listened. But it's funny. I mean, I hope it comes across as funny in the movie.
We have Simon Callow, who is just in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, who plays the Undersecretary General of the Allied Nations.
Deliver these instructions to your troops, and then consider yourself relieved of your command. Colonel, have you lost your mind?
No. You've lost your balls.
I've done a lot of motion pictures, a lot of big, very expensive action-adventure movies. I've never had such a high-caliber cast. A lot of high-caliber weapons, yes. But never such a high-caliber cast.
The Street Fighter story places its large cast in the teeming black markets and illegal fighting arenas of Shadaloo, a fictional Southeast Asian city, a ticking time bomb of political unrest.
There's a lot of very sophisticated adult things in this movie. Even the story itself is a story about a Desert Storm kind of situation. There's a lot of reality to this movie. There's a certain fantasy level too.
Thailand and Australia are the filmmakers' choices for the story's setting. Exotic locations, made all the more visually spectacular by the camera eye of 6-time Academy Award nominee Director of Photography, Bill Fraker.
The reason I'm doing it is because the script was a fantastic piece of material. And Stephen D'Souza is, a brilliant person, mind. He has a brilliant mind.
Production designer Bill Craver, Oscar nominated for the Poseidon Adventure, creating a fantasy world firmly based on reality.
It will be like a very fresh type of movie for the people because the film has the Asian type of look, like the Apocalypse Now type of look, you know? I don't talk about the movie, I talk about the look. Then we have all those James Bond type of sets. And we have also all those different characters. Also, we have also the saga world. Is like a deer hunter type of look, very smoky ambiance. Bison's very clean, very strong, lethal. And we have a fast story.
Attention all boats, stand by at attack Vector Alpha. I'll take out the enemy radar. Captain Sawada, I'm counting on you.
Fast, furious, and filled with non-stop action. The high action was a constant challenge to the film's stunt coordinator.
This movie, as opposed to a lot of other movies I've done, the challenge in it is 7 or 8 or 9 different characters. And every one of them fight. They all have different moves. Van Damme does things where he can actually jump and flip over things and come down, and then Jean-Claude, with his ability, such great ability to do martial arts, it makes it a little easier for me because John is so good at it.
Oh, goodbye.
Okay, now we got one. It's years of, I start martial arts when I was 11, so to me it's like walking. It's more difficult for the guy I'm fighting with. He has to be well trained, to take in the right time and to move in the right time.
Any other new business?
You know what you do? You push him, right? Push him, and it's easy for you. Give a punch, you just block him like this, and you just go like this, like, something like that. Can you control that? Can you control? Yeah. Many times when you do an action scene, it's not the guy who's giving the punch, the kick, the throwing. It's the guy who's receiving who has to sell the action. And if you're a good receiver, then the guy who gave the action look very strong. Like if you're punching me and I go like boom, if I go like I look like wow, you're strong, you know?
I would call it fighting. I would call it martial arts artistry, which really amazing. We have a trainer and a stunt coordinator, and we have, great martial arts fighters in this film that is very exciting, at the same time beautiful to look at. So it's like a dance within the context of martial arts.
The most complicated of all the many action sequences is the film's climactic sequence, a technically innovative battle between Van Damme's Guile and Raul Julia's Bison.
What happens is, at one point, Raul Julian has his powers, electronic powers, that when he turns, he zaps him back.
Street Fighter lives up to its name, delivering a full-out, non-stop action assault.
And some of the characters use martial arts, but there's also plain old action adventure in this thing. There's stunts, and drills, and spills. and damsels in distress, but they get themselves out of distress.
You always get your adrenaline up when you're doing that kind of stuff, and we got helicopters and boat sequences. You know, troops attacking Bison's fort. We got fights going there. Elephants, lizards, snakes. Like I said, Steven D'Souza is a very busy writer. So he has every element you could possibly think of in here.
Okay, this is a cross between probably every movie I've loved from the age of 12 up to like last Tuesday. So it's Magnificent Seven meets James Bond.
Our defenses are locked onto you.
Meets Star Wars, meets Frankenstein, meets The Wolfman, meets The Dirty Dozen, meets, I guess, some lawyers pretty soon, I guess I'll be meeting if I keep going on like this.
He's always creating. He's a wonderful writer, and I believe he will be a very strong director. He goes so fast, and he's so detailed, and he looks for stuff, and this is missing, and then lines, and he's one of the 5 top writers in the U.S. for those types of movies. And so he's got something very special.
Colonel, we're approaching Bison's outer radar perimeter.
Prepare for stealth mode.
Online.
Systems ready. 3, 2, 1. No!
Alert.
Uh-huh.
Intruder at radar station 7.
Prepare for attack mode. Perimeter guns. Fire!
What D'Souza is done in the script, and I think translating to film, is creating a great, joyous action event.
There's a strong element in the movie about a sense of honor and about courage, and a number of characters in the game say, "Are you mad enough to fight me alone?" Any coward can pick up a gun. If you're really so tough, just you and me, pal, let's go right now. And this is said by a number of people, but the people who really mean it are the heroes.
Are you men enough to fight with me?
Anyone who opposes me will be destroyed.
Colonel, you can't!
Just take the hostages out. If I'm not topside in 15 minutes, evacuate without me. Yeah!
You'll have to do better than that.
I think these are the people that you want to be yourself. Because I know I want to be Chung-Li really badly. I love being her because then I don't have, you know, she's fearless. Totally fearless. She's you know, she loves adventure, and she wants to achieve anything that she puts her mind to. You know, and these are great attributes for anyone to emulate. So when I'm her, I'm like powerful, you know.
It's a wonderful, fun experience for all of us.
It's gas!
And I'm enjoying playing the character very much. It's really a lot of fun.
Did you come here prepared to fight a madman? And instead you found a god?
Bigger-than-life heroes, larger-than-life stars, and performances that make a difference.
All that Steven's doing is making everything big, which is great.
I'm just making a kind of movie that I would go out and see. I would be first in line to see this movie the day it opens, even if I hadn't made it.
Who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me? No!
Game over!
Intruder destroyed.
Street Fighter.
You'll enjoy it. It's gonna be a good movie.
Then the party's on.